He's busy.
So today is Legislative Monday, and we talk about things legislative. But before we get started on that, we do have a special guest in. Brandon, would you like to go ahead and introduce him?
Oh, well, I can do that. Okay, I can do that. Let's have the we'll do that first. So we have Minister and Reverend Gwendolyn and Floyd Bryant. They are the co-founders of the Bryant Foundation. And they are members of our District 5 nonprofit cohort. And they are here to talk to us a little bit about the programs that they offer in our community and a summer camp they have coming up. So without further ado, the Bryants. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I am Minister Floyd Bryant. I am the chairman for the Floyd and Gwen Bryant Foundation. Our focus is on children, cultural awareness. We try to help them get exposure and so forth, and marriages, the sustainability of marriages. So those that are still married, we try to keep it intact and so forth. What I'm going to do within our 5 minutes, first of all, I'm going to show you a 2-minute video that basically sums up all we do and what we have done.
Hello, I'm Reverend Gwendolyn Bryant.
With a firm conviction that the family is the backbone of society, the Floyd and Gwendolyn Bryant Foundation strengthens the community one marriage at a time. This foundation enriches couples by sharing godly advice and wisdom in their Christ-centered marriage counseling programs. The Bryant Foundation offers financial literacy courses to help couples escape the unnecessary traps and stresses caused by uninformed and misguided household money management. In cultivating our future leaders, youth development camps are available for children ages 6 to 17. Annually, the foundation is widely recognized as a leading benefactor in the community, not only to smaller nonprofits with aligned missions, but to students looking to further their education through 6 academic scholarships to high school seniors in both Georgia and South Carolina. The foundation's board reflects their commitment to diversity and excellence, starting with board chair Floyd Bryant, minister, author, and certified business coach. The continuity of excellence is apparent throughout the illustrious board membership. Executive Director Gwendolyn Bryant is a renowned educator, minister, and most importantly, a servant. She is on fire for families and exudes a passion to persevere in the present to preserve a better tomorrow.
If you would like to support the Floyd and Gwendolyn Foundation, simply text the word GIVE to the number 844-337-1110. That's simple enough.
With a goal of a $1 million annual budget, we are inviting organizations, businesses, and philanthropists to sponsor a program or make a 100% tax-deductible contribution to the 501c3 foundation, making a monumental impact on families and therefore communities, cementing a substantial legacy for generations yet to come.
We look forward to hearing from you, and we pray that you have a blessed and marvelous day.
Okay, one other thing that I want to show you, what we also do is that for smaller nonprofits, our heart is to help them too. We have a grant application on our website, and if they go there, it's a fillable application. They can look at the requirement. We actually get able to loan money to other nonprofits that have something in conjunction with what we offer, anywhere from mini grants starting at $250 up to $10,000 larger grants and so forth. So I wanted to share that with you too. I'm going to next put up our flyer for our camp, and I'm going to pass the details on to my wife and our executive director.
Well, good evening to each of you. Thank you so much to each of you for allowing us to be a part this evening. We are so excited to offer to the community a cultural awareness and youth development camp. We have partnered with FEMA, and we also are partnering with schools. We'll be hosting at Evelyn C. West Elementary School in Fairburn. Our summer camp will be 2 weeks from June the 6th through the 17th. We're going to be talking about STEM. We're going to have disaster preparedness. Students are going to work on PBLs, project-based learning projects, and they will take those projects home with them. And then we're going to have a week of college readiness. And that is for all ages, getting them exposed to HBCUs, technical schools, because everyone's not geared or wanting to go to a four-year institution, and that's okay. Plumbers make a lot of income. And so we want to help students explore different opportunities. We're going to have speakers coming in from all different backgrounds. And then the most impactful thing that we are excited about is partnering with psychologists in our community that are going to come and help support our children as they are getting back into the swing of things after dealing with COVID and having to recalibrate themselves, so to speak, to give them those survival skills, those bounce back skills, so that they can be continue to be successful. So we're excited. We're looking forward. If you know of any children, youth, and teens that are interested in participating in our camp, we are saying that the camp is free. And what that means is there is no cost for the camp itself. However, we are asking for a $25 deposit so that we know that you're serious about holding spaces, because space is limited. And as I said, we are extremely excited and we look forward to partnering with each of you in the community that we serve.
And also, just in closing, we will have people like Dr. Polk that is normally on television and so forth. Gwen, can you expound some more details on who Dr. Polk is?
Yes, so she is a renowned youth psychologist, and she also helps with WIS and different news outlets across the country. We're really excited to have her. We will also have NFL referees that are going to come and speak about their career path to working in the NFL and not being on the field. And we're also excited about introducing students and children to healthy eating. We're really excited about all of the offerings that we're going to have. We're looking forward to working with each and every parent and students in our community.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We definitely want to say a specific thanks to Corey Reeves, Kristen Matthews, and Miss Tamika Leverett. Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. It sounds amazing. Make sure you send me the flyer and we'll post it in the chat, as well as we'll put it out on our social media.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. And thank y'all for being down in South Fulton and bringing this down to South Fulton for the summer for our youth. And so this is a great deal, and I think that they will gain a great experience and great knowledge from this program.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're bringing the coaches, because a lot of kids are, have the myth that they are going to get into the NFL, and they can't, but they need to know and understand that there are ways to be in the NFL without being actually on the field and playing. So I love that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And now we will move forward. Miss Brandy has the agenda. Again, we'd like to make sure that everyone is courteous. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Please make sure that your name is showing on the screen. If not, we will have to remove you from the meeting if your name is not showing on the screen. And That's about it. Brandy, our volunteer, our resident volunteer is with us today, and she's gonna go over the agenda.
Brandy, are you on with us?
I was sharing my screen. I was trying to make sure that y'all could see the screen. Is that what is it? Did the agenda show? Are we talking about the council meeting agenda? I hope I have the right one up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You can see it.
I'm sorry, I'm moving. Okay, so and I just want to make sure I'm correct. This is for February, the February 22nd meeting, the meeting that's gonna occur tomorrow, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, so the meeting is gonna start at 4. At 4:03, they're gonna do the roll call. 4:05, the meeting is gonna be called to order. 4:07, the adoption of the council agenda, and then moving to 4:20, approval of council meeting minutes. So the request for the council approval of the city council regular meeting minutes from January 25th, 2022. The request for the council approval for the city council work session minutes from February the 8th, 2022, and the request for the council approval of city council zoning public hearing minutes from February 8th, 2022, and then at 4:25, the consent of the agenda items. Is there any, you want me to keep going?
No, I think you're good. And so as long as it's on the share screen,
I think
if anybody has any specific questions, feel free to just look over that and ask any questions that you may or may not have, and about the process on how this meeting will be conducted and carried out on tomorrow.
Councilman,
today-
Councilman Reeves, question.
Yes, sir.
I thought the plan from the mayor and was to have short meetings. Why is this thing 468 pages of agenda items?
I do not have a response for that, because that is was duly noted, and so it is our first in-person meeting in 2 years.
No, I understand. I understand that it's going to be long, but I guess I read the agenda over the weekend. I'm like, and I looked at the items and I was like, these are not items. You can't put a time limit on certain things. Oh, you got 5 minutes. We're going to vote yes or this. I mean, I guess you can, but let's be honest. As politicians, y'all are going to have questions. You may have constituents that have questions, things of that nature. So that's all I'm saying.
I duly noted, sir, and I appreciate your comments on that. If you can do me a favor and send that in an email format so I can send that forward to the appropriate people to handle that, because I do believe I respect people's time, and so particularly staff, because they have to get right back up and go in the morning, whether we're there to 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And I think that's a bit doing them a disservice. And it's doing our constituency a disservice, as if they're lethargic and can't perform, then you can't get your request filled. And then y'all will be calling me or calling upon me. But however, today I will say Happy President's Day for all. And we're going to give y'all today a little bit of South Fulton trivia. Well, not really South Fulton trivia, a little trivia for President's Day. So let's start off this. Who's the current president of the United States of America?
Joe Biden.
Interesting. So that was an interesting answer. Anybody else want to take a stab at it?
Joe Biden.
Ding, ding, ding. Joe Biden. And on President's Day, who was the only president elected unanimously?
What?
Anybody? Okay, well, no hand. George Washington.
You mean by
And
both parties?
yes,
You mean
ma'am.
by,
Right, by the electorates. Electoral college. So who were the only two presidents who signed the Constitution?
George Washington and James Madison.
Ding, ding, ding. That's right.
How did you know that, Mr. Farrell?
I'm a history buff. So
Absolutely. Kristen, tell him what he won.
He gets to lead the next HOA meeting. I'm just joking.
that sounds like that is not a good prize.
Oh gosh.
Okay, and this is, does anybody know the month or the year that Black History Month was founded? Black History Month was founded in 1915. And so this is an interesting one. Atlanta is not at the top of the list for largest cities with a Black majority population. Can anybody name any city with the majority Black population?
DC?
Nope. Not anymore. DC nor Atlanta.
Really?
Baltimore.
Baltimore is correct. Yes.
I almost say Maryland.
Right. And the order it flows is Detroit, Memphis, Baltimore, Houston, New Orleans, and Cleveland.
Woo, woo.
And does anybody know the name of the person who created closed circuit TV home security system?
He was in Hidden Figures. That's all I'm gonna give y'all.
Almost right. Marie Von Britton Brown invented or created closed circuit TV.
My mute button was on. Sorry.
Hey, that's what it was. Well, I'll tell you what. Everybody here won a high five and a smile, and got the 5-star for just being participants tonight, taking out time of your day. So,
And well, actually, we'll give Mr. Farrell. Mr. Farrell, you drink coffee? Oh, did he fall off?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right,
Yeah.
we got a $5 Starbucks card. We'll make sure you get it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank
And
you.
you answered a couple of questions, so we'll make sure you get that.
thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so
Jane Williams had a question, Councilman.
go ahead, Ms. Williams.
No, I think I was gonna say earlier, just remind people that the meeting for tomorrow was in person, but then I heard Councilman say that it's gonna be in person tomorrow. And relating to the meetings being short, I think it's also where the mayor can probably call the meeting at a certain time, because there's no way the meeting is going to be short with that much on it. So much was.
You said the meeting is, oh, right, because it starts at 4 o'clock and 400 something pages. It's basically going to be a different format. As we come in, we start the meeting. Executive session is in the middle, sort of like a halftime. And then we come back out, and I think that's when public comments will be heard. You have till 3:50 p.m. to submit your public comment if you want to come up to the podium and make your statement. So that being said, has everyone had a chance to look over the agenda? Does anybody have a question? Has everybody received the agenda?
I can post it in the chat. I can post the link to the full agenda to the chat, so you all can copy it and have it.
So is there any questions? No questions? Does anybody have any concerns?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hey, brother Reed, we're still watching. We still waiting and watching.
Okay, well,
You have about 4 hands that are raised online. There are about 4 people with their hand raised.
Yeah, you have Ms. Steele, would you like to mute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let me turn this down. I get one, there was 2 things I wanted to know. If you could also, when you post the agenda in, can you also post the sign in or registration for the meeting if you're going to attend? Because I think I had read where they want you to be there by 3:15, but there's also a registration form that has been provided if you want to register early.
Absolutely, I'll check that out, and I'll be dropping it shortly.
Thank you.
okay, well, I will start too as well by making the community aware of a zoning application in for the BP at the corner of Flat Shows and Fairwood. They are submitting paperwork as they want to become a liquor store or have the ability to sell liquor out of the gas station. And so I believe that hearing this, is it tomorrow?
Oh, well, I can say this. I would say no, because 1, half the time their little pump things don't work. 2, there's trash all behind that dang vacant abandoned car wash that I know code enforcement has a case on it because I submitted it to them several months ago and they said they gave them a notice, but I just was by there yesterday and there was trash and litter and things of that nature. So I would say no. That's just me. But.
I would agree with that also. I would say no to that. I think we got enough going on in South Fulton without creating more liquor stores.
Yes.
Because they already sell wine, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, so
And we
why do they
already
need to sell
can't,
hard liquor?
we can't get the police officers to do the job. Well, I'm not gonna say not do their job, but I'm just saying it's hard to get a fast response to some of the issues we already have at hand to create more issues that we don't have to have. So, and with the type of, I mean, we got the hotel across the street, that Motel 6, which I feel like is already an issue. And I just think we invite more problems if we start selling liquor.
Hey, Corey, question. That is also close to the high school and the daycare behind the Shell
Mhm.
station,
That's
which,
exactly right.
I mean, normally it's 1,000 feet, and I'm pretty sure at least the daycare is within 1,000 feet. I'm not sure about the high school per se, but at least that
And the
daycare
elementary
behind,
school.
yeah. And then you know, but I
Are
would
you
think
talking about the, right, are you talking about the daycare across the street behind the Shell gas station?
yeah, I know that's Union City, but still, it's a daycare within 1,000 feet.
See, so Al, you already knew I was going around with that question and been like, so if that's the case, is it not considered in zoning if it's a daycare, but it's in another municipality?
It should still qualify because that's just like saying, well, let's put a strip club next to a school, even though it's in another jurisdiction. That doesn't make you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make legal sense. You know, I mean, you know, the attorneys will be the one to argue it, but it doesn't make any sense. It's not illegal. They already have, we get it. They already have their ability to serve beer and wine, you know, but to sell hard liquor, I mean, I don't think the forefathers of the county had, you know, would allow that next to anything. That wouldn't have been allowed in Fulton County though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no way. So it's the same type of ordinance. So why would it should apply because it is in another jurisdiction? Yeah, they're 1,000 feet within the system. So I mean, I'm sorry.
So
You know,
right. It makes about as much sense as a 64 bay distribution center where it's heavily congested and there's no traffic mitigation.
All right, we have a couple of hands up in the way. So Ms. Collins, would you like to unmute? And then I'll ask everybody else, if you could, please mute your mics. Ms. Collins, go ahead with your question.
Yes, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, my question is, I was reading today that we have been assigned a cop for each district. And I want to know how will that work? And since we have been assigned this cop for our district, will we be given the cell phone number or a special number to call if we need the policeman in a hurry? Because I don't know if you heard it or not, Corey, but a few nights ago we had some shooting over here. And we had to call the police that night.
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware of the shooting. It was rather loud.
Yes.
I don't know whether they just shooting at somebody or was it just in the air. Anyway, we have, you know, ordinances where it's illegal to discharge a weapon in any case. Of course, unless it's self-defense. And so the policeman per area, we'll go in further detail about that. And that plan of action from our chief and from our lieutenants. And they're more so of a community policing. And I don't want to give any wrong interpretation of the information. So let's wait to hear that tomorrow, but I will bring that back and bring the subject matter expert on that to answer that question. And
okay.
If you always could just send that email as well, and we'll try to give you a swift response.
But yes, when they did post it, they post an email address. I know it did not include a phone number, but there was a general phone number for a central contact, but there's an email for the District 5 COP.
Okay, I think it's a great idea, and I am against selling liquor at the BP as well. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have Gwen F. If you can unmute your mic and go ahead and ask your question.
Did you say Gwen F?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Gwen Foston. Yes, I'm against selling liquor in the BP station. I think it's so sad that we have schools surrounded by all of this traffic in our area that can hurt our teens as well as our young elementary and middle school kids. Our teens are driving cars and we have all these big tractor trailer trucks, and every day somebody's dying from one of the accidents. To add liquor, and then you have the hotel across the street where they're enticing young girls to try and get them to have sex or give them money for money or whatever. It's sad that we don't care for our children and our residents, where we would just allow anything into our district. So I'm voting no. I would like for you to vote no for that, Corey. And the zoning, how is it zoned for liquor? How do we get all these zonings in here for all of this stuff that's coming around surrounding our neighborhood and with our kids, with school districts, schools right in the midst of all of it. We have high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, nursery schools. We should care more for our kids and our families than that.
Absolutely, absolutely, I agree, and that's why I think
So
we.
was the zoning already changed? Has it been changed or?
Oh no, ma'am. That hearing is tomorrow. That hearing is tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So we have our zoning hearings at 4 o'clock, and then the council meeting starts at 6.
So are the people included in the zoning, are the constituents included in the zoning hearing at 4, or is that only for council?
Oh no, ma'am. It's public.
Okay.
All right, next we have Mr. Clyde Sampson. If you want to unmute your mic and go ahead and ask your question.
All right, good evening, everybody. I just had a couple of comments. One, for the liquor store, I am against selling liquor at the BP. There's too much going on in that area, especially with the gas station across the street, which is even worse, and with the Super 8, I believe, the hotel, whatever. There's too much activity going on, and selling liquor at that gas station would, I think, make that area worse. But in regards to the agenda for tomorrow, the street renaming, I was going to ask a question about that. I know this is probably the first read of it. So was there any other names that were considered for that street naming? And when it comes to street naming, do we have any streets that are being considered in District 5 for renaming?
So thank you for that question, Mr. Sampson. And so the committee of renaming streets, they come up with suggestions throughout the city, and then they put recommendations forward. And I can assume the process where somebody will put up a name for nomination. In this case, former Mayor William Bill Edwards, and this is to rename part of Stonewall Tell to William Bill Edwards Drive. And so, in which, of course, they'll submit their recommendations, and we as the DS, the council, will vote on that to say yay or nay. And so, to answer your second questions, are there streets in District 5 being considered? to be renamed? Yes, sir, I'm sure. However, I do not have the names of those streets, as I would have to reach out to the committee heads of those and get that information for you. And I will do that.
All right, next we have Bellwood HOA.
Yes, this Miss Johnson. I just want to piggyback on that BP up there. I was there today, and all that trash is there, and I feel as though I am against that liquor license being given to them. So Corey, if you'll vote no for that, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Ms. Johnson.
All right, next up is Ms. Steele.
Oops, thank you. I just had two statements. I'm listening to all the trash that's supposed to be up there at the BP station. And I just want to ask, what can we do right now to make them clean that up, first of all? The second question that I have, Corey, is for you, because I want to find out how do you feel about the BP station selling liquor, as well as the single sanitation provider, because I'm really against that. And I just want to know, how do you feel about these particular subjects?
Okay, thank you so much. I'm getting feedback on my phone. Okay, there we go. So let me say, to have a one sanitation provider is just not a feasible solution, particularly at this time. As the last 2 years, the industry is down employees, down labor, particularly skilled drivers. And so it's no real big secret, as I desire for us to have our own sanitation department along with our own water authority. But I do know that those are capital improvement programs that's not too far in the future, but it's not quite here either. But the opportunity is. And particularly with the Mid-Chat Water Authority, which includes Palmetto, Fairburn, and Union City, if South Fulton becomes a member of that, we would be the largest, and we would have the most improvement capital-wise financially. But I think it would be a great investment for this city, and like for 20 years from now, be the best thing that we could have done. However, I say that to say that because with water comes sanitation. Now, the one service provider is not correct information, and there's no one service provider that can provide for South Fulton right now. And like, I'll just take, for example, Republic Services in Gwinnett County. They have over 40,000 rooftops, and they had to reduce their services dramatically just to keep pace with their contract that they have up there. And we're talking about a little over 35,000 rooftops here. How will one service provider adequately service an entire city with shortage of staff? So it's a multi-vendor approach, but it's not this current one that just does not work. And we've seen that. But this one is to whereas 100% of the residents will have a Herbie-Kirby. And I do know and quite aware of a carrier or vendor who has several complaints and has customer no service. And so we are aware of that. And I have asked to take into consideration the community complaints of one or any particular vendor. Mr. Farrell gave a great idea when we was on the call last week. Just give us your KPIs, key performance indicators on, that's what should be sent in. We can do an evaluation accurately based on that. And so that's what we would need, and to hold them currently accountable, but still come with a different model than what we have now to get 100% coverage of every rooftop here in the city of South Fulton and every business along the industrious and very busy business economic corridors. So that should happen. And that's where I stand with that.
And I just want to add that Councilman Reeves, you posted on your Facebook page that the city of South Fulton is conducting 4 public meetings to present the details of its proposed sanitation program, and they want to hear from you all. So there are planned meetings. The next ones that are coming up are Tuesday, February 22nd at 11 a.m. He provided a link where you can register. Following that one is a Tuesday, March 1st at 11 a.m. as well. And the link was also provided on the Facebook page. I don't know if it can be added to the chat as you have to register to receive a link to join the meeting.
So they're still gonna, okay.
Okay, so thank you for answering that question. I appreciate that. And I am registered for all the meetings because I want to be at all of them. I want to voice my opinion for all of them. Now, can you answer the question about the trash?
Trash at the BP? Well,
yes.
Right. Well, based on the complaints that I heard here tonight about that BP, and they'll be coming tomorrow, I'll be asking our code enforcement to go and look at that particular site. And if they're out of compliance in any kind of way, particularly with trash, and particularly if trash is overflowing from their garbage can into the streets, into our city streets, in which now we are, just spreading trash around, then yes, I would ask code enforcement, what is the code and what is a violation? We have a subject matter expert on here. Al, would you happen to know, is that a violation as far as a fine? That if they had trash outside of their garbage disposal, and just like whichever way the wind blows, it blows it into the streets?
Yeah, so one, if it's on the property itself, it's a private property violation, even though it's commercial property, and that's a property maintenance code called sanitate, under the International Property Maintenance Code for sanitation, disposal of rubbish, accumulation of rubbish. Once it gets into the street or the storm drain potentially, then you can cite them for illicit discharge. Of course, if we see it blowing, from their property into the street, and that's, that can be an automatic fine, or citation to appear in court, or or code board. It just depends. But yes, it's a notice. And like I said, I know there was a case because I put it in C-Click Fix a long time ago for the trash, at least behind the car wash, like the little drive where the car wash is. I don't know, and I know they came out and gave the manager or owner a notice, but I don't know if it was ever closed out or not. That's another problem with C-Click Fix. You never really know unless they respond back that it's closed.
All right. Next, we have Miss Wanda. You want to unmute and ask your question?
Hi, this is Wanda Lewis, and basically I'm piggybacking off of everyone else and hoping that BP is not allowed to sell hard liquor. And one thing I want to comment also about is the 18-wheeler trucks. I don't know if anyone else has noticed it. A lot of the gas stations have started becoming truck stops, unofficial truck stops for or holding areas for, I guess, the warehouses that are P&G and Amazon. at any time of the night or day, you can go and you see 3, 4, 5 trucks parked in these parking lots. And I'm wondering, is City of South Fulton, are you guys gonna work with Union City as far as coming up? Because that shouldn't be happening with them parking and resting there. Because when we rallied against having the Quick Trip built as being a truck stop on the corner of Buffington and Flat Shoals, those gas stations stood up and they were saying they thought that would be unfair to them because they weren't allowed to be truck stops. But now they're starting to become truck stops. And also along with that, the trucks from those businesses, although in Union City, are parking in areas of City of South Fulton, like down at the Walmart. And one of my neighbors has commented that she saw, illicit behavior happening in broad daylight with those truck drivers. So I'm just trying to see how how will our code enforcement and police actually police that or take care of that? And also, how will we be working with the neighboring city and keeping that out of our communities?
Correct. So I do know that I have a relationship with my counterpart over Union City, Mr. Brian Jones, and that was an issue beginning to become on Royal 85 Parkway with that pit and bows. It was sometimes 35 trucks lined up on both sides to get into this facility. And so I just went by there every day and for about a week, and then I called my brother, Mr. Jones. And so, and within 3 days, that was cleared out. Because what Union City started doing was just going in there and issuing them tickets. So, because they're not supposed to be parked there. And I know what you're speaking of, particularly coming off 85 South, off the Flat Shoals exit, that they're lined up by the MARTA parking ride and so on, and then even overnight. And so, jurisdictionally wise, it's such a jaded map. They don't know which one we own in Union City or in South Fulton. So to your point, we have to work together in the mitigating this issue and problem. But jurisdictionally wise, if it's a top priority, as it is for us, then we can execute some sort of solution. And so, but I will be posing that question for the future as well. And for the sake of argument, you said on the gas stations up here for the mid truck stops, which ones are you talking about? Are you talking about the Exxon at the Buffington Road?
It's the one at the Buffington Road. I've seen them sitting at the BP station that you guys are talking about. Sitting there waiting to park. It may be 2 or 3 in that parking lot sitting. So it's like they're conveniently finding different places where they can actually just sit and I guess rest for a while. Which is in essence making them become truck stops.
Oh, absolutely. And I agree with you. And then they want to sell liquor.
Right. And then you guys are talking about the hotel or the motel that's across the street. So the next thing you'll see is the different things starting to happen there. And as one of the people that's on this call said, we got young kids. And even as an adult, I don't want to see all kind of behavior going on in the daylight when I'm going in and out of stores. Like my neighbor told me that she had saw happening down at the Walmart because that parking lot is full in the morning of 18-wheelers also.
18-wheelers, people sleeping in their cars, the homeless.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And so that is a growing issue.
Right. We have quite a few hands up, but before we move on to that, there's some chats that I just wanted to acknowledge. Mr. Sumlin said, I'm against allowing liquor sales at the BP. Ms. Sheila says, call code enforcement to get the trash cleared up on the property at the BP. Ms. Armster said also you can take pictures and send a quick fix. The inspector will respond by the next day. And then Ms. Steele, she says, The police also need to move those trucks on the exit ramp where the trucks are using it as a layover. They're sleeping in, okay, this is what we're talking about now. So just wanted to acknowledge that. There's lots of information in the chat, everyone. So please, when you get an opportunity, check the chat. I've posted the agenda and how you can comment for the meeting tomorrow, as well as the flyer for the guests that we had here earlier this evening, the Floyds from the Floyd Foundation and their summer camp. Okay, Brandy, back to you.
Next is Ms. Rucker. If you want to unmute your mic and ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I want to say that I'm against the liquor being sold at the BP station also. And my second question is to Councilman Reeves. Councilman Reeves, we talked about this pothole that's down at the bottom of Buffington Road North, where you merge into Roosevelt Highway. That pothole is getting larger and it's getting dangerous also due to the fact that at night you can't see or early morning when it's still dark, and you can easily fall over into that pothole. You could burst a tire and cause an accident, what have you. We still do not know what's going to be done about that. I have contacted ClickFix 2 or 3 times along with other citizens, but they come out and they fill it with gravel. Well, when you have trucks and buses coming through there along with cars, that gravel is being dismounted from that pothole. Therefore, the gravel is under your tire. When you're getting ready to make that quick right onto Roosevelt Highway, you can easily spun. So what else can we do to get that pothole filled in properly?
Yes, Mr. Rucker, thank you so much, because you've been on that for quite some time.
Yes, sir.
And as when you sent this email in, and we forwarded that to Public Works, they did give you that response where they filling in, and that, but as to my understanding, that whole intersection is scheduled for basically a reconstruction, a redesign and reconstruction. And so let me get that and see where they are in that process, because that last email correspondence was probably about a month or so ago, and there's been no subsequent follow-up from Public Works except for what they fill the hole with, correct?
Right, correct.
I got you. So let me see where they are in that process, because that's part of a whole Roosevelt redesign. And I think that that's going to be included in the LCI, the Livable Cities Initiative grant that we're putting in with the ARC for Roosevelt Highway. But I'll get that answer to you and I'll shoot you an email.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next, Rashard Snellings.
Yes, thank you. Hello, Councilman Reeves, how are you?
Dr. Snellings, how was everything, sir?
Everything's going good. Just for full disclosure, I am not a resident of District 5. I just saw the invitation on social media. I'm a resident of District 1, and I just had a question for you. On the sanitation call, it was mentioned that there was some legislation that has already been drafted around the one sanitation provider. Have you seen that legislation?
No, sir. I have not seen that legislation.
All right. And that was all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right, all hands are clear that I can see. And we are at 7:30, Councilman Reeves.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank y'all for taking time out of your day and coming to be with us here. And so, as this is the most important process that you can participate in, and where your voice is heard and considered and executed. And so thank you, because y'all are truly the greatest part of the city of South Fulton. And with that, I will bid you blessings. As they say, God bless and good night. But before we leave tonight, does anybody who has something positive to say about the city of South Fulton? I love my city. I love it to death. Love being here.
I have something
And
positive to say,
yes,
because when I think about when we were fighting to become a city and how difficult it was, when I look back at Atlanta now, I am glad we made this step, because had we not, we would have been embroiled in Atlanta in their situations.
absolutely.
I would like to
Thank you.
say something positive. This is Jewel Johnson, and I don't live in District 5, but I know plenty of people in District 5 that I really admire and support, and several of them has been very supportive of me. And Corey, I just want to say to you, thank you. You are turning out to be a very positive figure for us in city of South Fulton, because you are so gracious to allow us to be a part of your meetings, and you're not trying to shut us out. So that's positive. So you are positive for the city.
Thank you so much, Sister Johnson. I appreciate you.
And I'm grateful to be living in the city of South Fulton.
Actually, there's something in the chat. Ms. Collins asked, what is the time limit to revamp the intersection? Because this appears to be a serious issue now. Councilman Reeves, can you answer that?
I cannot give I honestly cannot give an authoritative answer on that, but I will be, as soon as we hang up this call, sending an email to our Director of Public Works so he can give the authoritative answer on what that looks like. And if they have a site plan or drawing, then we'll try to put that out to the public as well. Because I'm with you. I like hard dates. And so I don't like to say, oh, it's coming. And then you still got to get the right of way acquisition. And then it's still 3.5, 4 years later. That's, to meet a need of now. So I like to exercise the power of now.
Right. And thank you all for all of the positive comments in the chat.
I have something to say.
Hold on one second, Ms.
Yes, Ms. Johnson.
I just want to say I love my Corey Reed for the 5th district because he's fantastic. And I love my Tawana. Okay, thank you.
Tamiko.
I mean Tamiko. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As it's not me alone, it is a collaborative effort, and I'm only as good as my team. And so we have a strong team right here from this community, and we're all here to serve you.
And it's working well.
Yes,
okay, we have Clyde Sampson said the home values are going up. Mr. Wise says, I love my city. Joyce Armster says, it's a great place to live and visit. And Ms. Williams, the city of South Fulton is a great place to live. Yeah, and we are so thankful for all of your gracious comments. And just before we go, I just wanted to, in case you weren't on the call in the beginning, I just want to remind you that Councilman Reeves and District 5 staff, we have CPR training every month this year. So you can look into your top 5 newsletter and register for that. It's free for seniors 55 and up, and it's $50 for anyone else. Also, we have a book drive going on this month, Black History Book Month book drive. So please give the gift of reading to our youth. The boxes are located right inside or outside of every fire station in District 5, number 1 through 9. And finally, our last announcement is that these meetings will become hybrid on March the 7th. So you can either meet us at Burdette and come to the meeting live, or you can continue to watch us on Zoom as of March the 7th. Next week, we have, I believe we have Miss Armster coming on to talk with us next week from the Old National Area Residents Association. And also next week, we have one of our nonprofits coming on, Women's Wellness Awareness. She'll give a brief 5-minute introduction to her organization. And we'd like to thank the Bryants who came on with the Floyd Foundation this evening to let us know about their free summer camp and grants that they're offering to our community. I've posted those in the chat, so make sure that you check those out. If you have not, don't worry, they will be in your top 5 on Monday. And if you don't get the top 5, just send us an email and let us know or give us a call. Does everyone have Councilman Reeves' phone number? Then take it down if you don't have it. The number to the office is 470-809-7705. Or you can just email me directly at kristen.matthews@cityofsouthfultonga.gov. And I'll make sure that you get all those flyers and information that you didn't get tonight.
Absolutely. And you can post my cell number as well.
Okay, you have to say that one yourself because I don't have it written down right here.
Okay, 678-628-4546.
Okay, finally, Miss Steele, did you have a question or was that from the last time?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I love my city too. I just want to say that. But also I wanted to say that I did put in the chat, if you wanted to attend the meeting tomorrow, I put in the chat the pre-registration form. So
yes, we saw that. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Awesome, awesome. Well, one last thing though is the AED store challenge. So if you're in a local store around City of South Fulton and you see an AED machine, that is what this is still Heart Month, and we had our sister on last week, and so talking about that, Miss Mumford, and so if you see it in the store, just take a picture and send it to us, as we would like to build a database of that, as that suggestion came in last week. So that's our solution that we came up with, and we'd like to have everybody here involved in that process. And so let's make it happen.
Councilman Reeves.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Mary Chris. I wanted
Mary,
to say that bringing Miss Matthews on the board, and that has been a positive connection with you two. I'm glad to see that y'all are working together and we're getting a lot of positive feedback, and things that we wanted to discuss is finally being discussed in a nice format. So welcome, Miss Matthews.
Thank you, Miss Chris.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. She's been with me day one. And so like, yes, so this is we all family here, you know, and so
yes, we really are
from the community here too. That's very important. We're very important. I say that because I took time to find the people who live right here. They see the same thing we see. They feel the same thing we feel. And so I think that is the best team effort, because we all share that common goal of having a safe and clean city and being kind to our neighbors. Absolutely. And so thank y'all again. If anybody's frying some chicken wings over there, I'll take 6 hot with lemon pepper sprinkles, okay? And a side of fries today, you know what I mean? So we'll do that. And thank y'all all for coming. I appreciate y'all taking y'all time out. And we will be seeing you. God bless and good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Love you all. Good night.
All right.